true story. It's a true story. It's Friday evening, and we are back catching up on WandaVision, Superman and Lois with special guest Mike Negin. Where's Mike Negin? Where'd he go?
He's in the Phantom Zone.
He was here a second ago. I think he just dropped out. He froze out. He'll be back.
I'm
There he
here.
is. Yay! He's
Yay!
here.
I'm here.
You made it. You went into the Phantom Zone for a couple seconds.
I know. Something
We were
happened.
worried. We were worried about you.
Ooh.
So thank you for being here with us. Ooh,
Thank you for having me.
I forgot to do things, Wayne. You told me about
Forgot
it.
to hit the public?
Yeah, and I'm gonna do that right now because I forgot to do that.
What did you forget to do?
A whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. I remember to do things. I tell Wayne right before we go on that I have to do something, and then I do it, and then I tell him that I'm going to do it, and then I don't do it, and then I don't do it.
I mean, you need to have like a checklist, like it's a national launch. Like, all right, check seatbelts.
Right.
There's only so much I can do from Canada. There's only so much.
Well, you are.
Wayne, let me tell you something. Wayne is on top of things. He is on top of things, and he tells me, "Remember to do this. Remember to do that," because he's like the ultimate co-host here, and I forget. So without him, we wouldn't have a show. So, make sure you tip your Wayne by the end of the show. Tip your Wayne.
That sounds dirty. I don't know.
That is dirty.
Oh yeah. So thank you to Mike Negin for stepping in. We were going to have Mike on in a couple of weeks, but Art Balthazar was supposed to be here this evening, but he had something come up last minute and could not be on the show. So I asked Mike if he would mind coming on, and he's here. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! So
hi, good to see you all.
We're going to talk stuff, but we have to tell everybody that there's spoilers. There's going to be spoilers because we're going to talk about WandaVision. And we're going to talk about Superman and Lois. So there's going to be spoilers.
We are?
Spoilers, yeah. Did you watch any of these things? Because we're going to spoil them.
I haven't watched any of them.
Uh-huh. We're going to spoil all of it.
No, I've watched it.
We're going to spoil all of it.
I've watched it.
Wayne's done.
Wayne's done from Canada. It's over.
So tonight, I'm going to draw a picture of Superman. Tyler Hoechlin Superman. So, and I told Mike that he had to draw, and he refuses to draw.
That is not true. I said I would make an attempt. I said I don't think anybody wants to see me draw, but I would try.
So, anyway, it's another Friday night. We've seen another episode of WandaVision. Spoilers. Again, spoilers for anybody that's coming in. That we are going to be spoiling stuff. Spoilers. Beware spoilers.
I got a question before we start.
Yeah, man. Talk to me.
Are we going to be spoiling stuff?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well, I want to make sure that people know because
of course.
I love that people watch us and come in, but I will say things and I'm not offended when I say we're going to spoil things and they're like, "Well, I'm out. Peace out," because they don't want to hear anything, and that's super okay. That's what this is all about. But you can go in and watch it later, see if you agree with the things that we talk about, and we'll take it from there. Anybody out there already, Wayne? Talking about?
We have D. Brad says hi to Mike.
Hey, Brad, how are you, brother?
And Mr. Scoot McMahon's in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Scoot said that he might not be here tonight because he was going to go get a haircut, but I'm glad that he's here and he made it. So I don't know if he got his haircut or not, but thanks for being here. Yeah. All right. So let's start the shindig. Give us your thoughts on WandaVision. What do we think? What do we like? What do we not like? Again, remember, spoilers for both of these things coming up. But let's talk WandaVision. I liked this episode.
I liked this episode a lot too. I liked the whole Agatha Harkness origin story. Like, I like that. It's definitely different from the comics version of Agatha Harkness, at least from what I remember. and I like the take that she's, you know, she's not in the comics. There was always a little like, she's evil. Is she good? Is she evil? Is she good? In this, she obviously she's just out and out evil. She wants more power. I like that. She wants all the mystical power. So that was a lot of fun.
Does she though, or was she just curious as to how this chaos magic comes up? Because one thing I'm curious about is did she come in and look for Scarlet Witch? Because was she already in Westview, or did she come there because she was drawn there because of the power?
I think she said she was drawn there because of the power. She felt the power of the chaos magic, and she was drawn there.
Oh, I missed that.
I think I remember her saying that. But Franco, she's got to be evil. She kills all the other witches in Salem, and including her mother.
Does she kill them, or does she take all their magic from them?
But it was a really dark scene. But it looked like their bodies were a little husky.
Yeah, like draining your magic.
Draining your magic, which I think kills a witch, right?
Draining the life force, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like the yogurt container, yo magic.
Yo magic. That's
the callback.
There you go. Very good.
I'm done.
No.
I didn't get that.
You guys are both off the show now.
Well, it's been lovely talking with you guys. But it was a good plot twist. Also, like the whole idea of Agnes being Agatha Harkness. I like that. That was 2 episodes ago, right? Yeah, because spoiler alert, I binged the last 3 this afternoon to be on this call, to be on this video. So I got to remember which episodes are which. Like, what was?
Are you wearing pants?
Next question.
Well, I like the dedication. I like that you were willing to go on a binge just for this, just to do this.
Anything for you, Franco. You know that.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so Wayne, give me your thoughts. What are you liking? What are you not liking?
Well, I like how the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., Hammond. I think it's Hammond. No, not the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., head of S.W.O.R.D.
Yeah, what's that guy's
He keeps flipping back and forth whether or not is he the guy really behind everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because we saw from his point of view, the way he sort of presented everything to Monica and to Darcy, that Scarlet Witch went in, took the vision away, but she didn't take the vision. She went in, she saw him, she realized he's not there, he's gone.
Yep.
All that's left is just the corpse, just this dead machine.
She did do the little hex thing like over his head, like,
but still,
to see if he's there or to pull his power, because then she made him when they got to Westview.
Not only did she made him, she made vibranium, because they were tracking vibranium in the hex zone. So she not just created matter, she created something that's even rarer, the vibranium that's only really in Wakanda.
Right. That's a good point. See, I think he definitely has some kind of nefarious intentions, because they showed video of her breaking in that wasn't the footage that we saw, right?
No, it was the footage we saw. It's just the way that they presented it to us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember it, but I felt it like it was more.
Now, the other thing is, who left the map in her car with the heart?
Well, that was Vision.
That was supposed to be Vision, right?
Now, did he leave it there?
He probably sent it, and the post office being the way it is nowadays, with everything slowed down, that it probably got there. It probably got there much later.
See, this is where I'm going into total X-Files territory. Someone put it there when she went in.
But why would they sign it as the Vision? Just to throw her off?
Throw her off. To send her off in this direction. To have her access the power that is within her. Because she doesn't really access it till she gets to Westview. She finds the house, or what was left of the house, and then from there, the final traumatic incident in her life. Her parents are killed. Her brother is killed in front of her. Now that the vision is gone, she's come back from the snap, She just can't take it anymore. And that's the trigger that sends her off into hex magic, like the total to embrace her Scarlet Witch.
The chaos magic.
Her chaos magic, but to embrace what is considered the Scarlet Witch, which is the chaos magic.
Right.
I think that someone put the map there. Now I'm thinking, could it be still the Head of Sword that did that? Because he's too calm all the way through this.
But how would he know that would set her off? Like, how does he even know
he's not human? He's Mephisto. Now we can put Mephisto in there.
Oh, that would make a lot of sense, Wayne.
Well, I mean, he was calm when Vision comes out of the hex field and he's being torn apart. He's very calm, and I was asking myself, why is he that calm? Like, you know, when everybody else is kind of freaking out, but he's kind of calm. But it makes sense because he knows that Vision never left his complex. So that's not Vision. So he knows that. So there's that.
But what about that one time when they were she had all the guns pointed at him? He wasn't calm then.
No, he wasn't, because she was using her power and she was going to mess him up big time.
But if he's Mephisto, then
but if you want to maintain your identity, secret identity, you'd act scared.
Okay.
I think that's too much.
I'm just tossing that in.
I can see all of this.
It's just that he keeps flipping. Is he good? Is he bad? Is he good? Is he bad?
I'm just wondering if somehow there's going to be some kind of time travel element to this whole thing, where eventually Vision comes back in time, like when she sucks him, when she rebuilds him, right? And we say, okay, that's not the Vision that's laying on the tables in the Sword headquarters or whatever.
That's a totally new Vision that she creates.
But what if it's not? What if she is pulling him out of time from some point in the past or maybe the future?
Well, she's not, because I'll guarantee if you binge watched the last 3 episodes, did you watch all the way through to the end credits of the last episode?
Remind me. I think I did, but yes, remind me.
Someone white comes to life.
Oh yeah, he's the white.
Yeah.
The John Denver.
That's the Vision. Yeah, that's the Vision from. And they were looking for a way to power him, and they couldn't find anything that would power him up, because they built him and took him apart a whole bunch of times. Right. And the only thing that seemed to power him, what they're powering him with, is the drone that they had sent into Westview that Wanda screwed up with.
Right.
And that was the power that he's using to power that Vision.
He's with the chaos magic. That's basically
right.
Powering that version of the Vision. Okay. Then eventually we're going to have 2 Visions. Is that what we're saying?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
And we'll have a Vision face-off of some sort?
Or it merges. Okay. Right? It might merge. I'm curious.
Who does she choose? Because she's obviously in love with both of them, the original Vision and now the Vision she's kind of lived this life together with.
Well, it depends on what happens, because that white Vision is cold and unfeeling, right? If I remember the one from the comics, not that they're gonna do that in the in this, but that one's very cold and unfeeling. They all had problems with that white Vision not being the regular Vision, or not being able to, not being the Vision that he was of old, so to speak.
That West Coast Avengers run was forever ago.
I know, right?
But if I remember correctly, Wanda is off her rocker then also. Like she brings him back in a very similar way. I think it would be interesting to see how this plays out with obviously at this point we have multiple Visions, and one's gonna have to rule them all, right? Eventually, is this now the original Vision, the unfeeling one, the new Vision, the one that she keeps around because he has the feelings and cares about her and the boys if they still exist after this whole thing is over?
Well, Agatha says something like where the boys were the boys, they were the boys, or something like that. I caught that in this episode where she says that. So again, that's leading me to believe that
That's right.
Wanda created them, obviously.
Yeah, but I was thinking, taking that as when she said they're the boys, like at the next time we see them, they're not children anymore. They're adults or teenagers or something. Again, I'm trying to think about in the comics. It's the same idea, right? She creates those.
Yeah, she creates them from stealing magic from one of the demons.
Right. I don't remember.
She steals magic from a demon to create the kids.
To create the kid, but they're still in existence to today. They're young Avengers and whatnot. So
right.
I would imagine that at the end of all this, those characters supposedly stay alive if they keep sorted to the comic.
That's what I would think.
You would think.
What do people out there think?
Well, D. Brad's all about tipping me because he says Wayne tipping. Stuart Greenberg.
Is that anything like cow tipping?
I think so. But since it's a Canadian tipping, you only have to do what, 73% of it?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Stuart Greenberg says hello to all of us. Oh, yeah. Scoot goes late night haircut, spit curl.
Oh yeah, Superman.
I like them. They're good. Again from Scoot. D. Brad missed Monica Rambeau in the basement, but I do like this episode going back and filling in some of the blanks. Jeff Stein goes, yo, Mike, thoughts on the Blackfire costume from Titans season 3? But that's not this show.
We'll see. It's only like belly button down. It seems a little true to the comic. I want to see if it's the rest, if it goes to the George Perez version of that. Which I like.
D. Brad again, is the head from Sword a guy from the comic character? And again, anything with Sword, I have no comic knowledge of.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't think that he is. I mean, I've read a lot of Sword stuff. I don't really remember it. It's the poor man's shield. And it's one of those things that whenever you see Sword in the comic, you're like, oh. So I think
are we talking like Great Lake Adventures?
Right. I just think he's an aggregate of all of those Sword guys. Like,
okay. Denise Track loves you, Franco.
Oh, thank you, Denise.
And my brother on YouTube says hi to everybody.
Oh yeah, hi, brother.
Hi, Wayne's brother.
Twitch is quiet.
Twitch is over.
Andy Price says I'm a sexy beast. Let's not forget that, Wayne.
I don't remember that in the feed, but I'll take it. I'll take your word for it.
Says Mike Negan, you sexy beast.
There you go.
You know it, baby.
So, what do we think of all the past stuff that Wanda had to go through, her trauma and stuffs?
I was excited to see some of that history, and I thought it was really cool that they showed that her powers really emerged from the trauma of that incident of losing her parents and how it kept her and her brother alive. I like that part of it. I liked how they were, their entertainment was, American television, which I thought was pretty funny and pretty cool. When you follow it through, like as they jump from scene to scene, and you could just see the buildup of her continual trauma from losing her parents to losing her brother to losing Vision, and then like you could feel her pain. Like Elizabeth Olsen really is doing a great job of making you feel have that empathy for her, so that when she has that moment of in Westview where she just explodes, you can almost empathize with any trauma that you've ever had in your life. That moment where you feel like you just want to scream and have the world change around you, which, in the real world doesn't happen, but she is able to make that happen. We've all been there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I love those human elements of story, because it makes you feel definitely part of it, and you can sympathize with the characters or empathize with them. I love that. I also love the little details, and and I said this at the beginning when we first talked about this guys, or this show, how I thought it was really slow. Those first 2 episodes were really slow, and I wish they had combined them or at least moved things forward. I'm going to go back and say I'm glad that they didn't, because now everything is really, and I said this then too, I said, unless all of this stuff pays off, but I don't really see how that show would have lasted very long on like a regular network TV with those first 2 or 3 episodes. But now in these last episodes, I love all the little details, all the callbacks. The first things first, there was no commercial in this one whatsoever. You know, all the stuff that they did in those first episodes, the Dick Van Dyke Show, the Malcolm in the Middle, all that stuff was in that case, and stuff that she was watching. I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but there's little things like, you know, that episode of the Brady Bunch with Kitty Carryall, you know, with Cindy and the doll. That's the doll that Vision is practicing changing his underwear on, the underwear, the diapers on.
Oh no, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
That's cool.
So it's the same doll, and then also little callbacks like the commercial with the toaster, the red light blinking on the toaster. That's the bomb. That's Stark Industries.
Right.
You know, so all those little callbacks, I love it. I love the way everything is weaving together. I think they did such a good job. I loved it.
Agreed. I think there's a tremendous amount, tremendous attention to detail.
Well, Andy Price wants to know, what are the remaining thoughts on this being Ultron? Could that be the White Vision?
I don't know. It could be. I mean, anything's really open, but I think Sword was really just trying to do. I think Sword's ulterior motive is something that remains to be seen. You know, because they were trying to put him together and do something with all that vibranium. They were trying to make a weapon. So I wouldn't be surprised if eventually more Visions show up. Maybe, possibly. But I don't know about it being Ultron. In the comics, Ultron comes back a lot.
Yeah, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd go to the well again like that. I don't feel like they would. I feel like this is building to something bigger. One of the things that I find interesting, and I don't know if it's just a plot hole or, you know, there was the snap. Wanda was gone for 5 years. She comes back. She wants to find Vision. She wants to find Vision's body, right? At that time, she goes to Sword. They're pulling Vision apart. Why did it take them 5 years? Why did it take them 5 years to start pulling him and dissecting him? Like, what happened in that 5 years? Sword existed. That guy said he was there. He wasn't part of the snap. Whatever I always forget his name. He wasn't part of the snap. So either that's a hole, or there's a reason behind it. Like, again,
well, I mean, they did say they pulled them together and put them apart hundreds of times. So
did they? Oh, I think maybe I missed that then.
I think they said that.
That was at the end. When we were introduced to the White Vision, they talked about tearing him apart, putting him back together to try to figure out how he worked.
Oh, maybe I missed that part then. Sorry. Ignore that comment.
Oh, man.
I don't think it's Ultron though. I don't. I think that they would pull somebody else in. What I'm really curious about is the whole multiverse angle with the other Pietro, right? Like, how does that play into all of this?
Yeah, see, that's where I got a little confusing, because she said, Agatha Harkness said at some point that she couldn't use Pietro because his body was riddled with bullets and on another continent.
Right.
So she made up that Pietro, because that was her. She says that was her.
Yeah.
So like when she was probing Wanda for questions, that was her asking questions like, how did you do, you know, that scene where they're sitting on the bench when everybody's trick-or-treating, and he says, how did you do all this type thing? That was her asking Wanda.
Right.
But it still begs the question, how did Agatha pull this Pietro out?
Right. Unless it's some part of this whole chaos magic thing that maybe the chaos magic is tied into the multiverse somehow. Right? Like she just said, "Oh, I'm going to create my own Pietro, and however chaos magic interacts with multi-dimensional whatever, that's the version that she pulled.
Well, that's the other thing too, because everybody else in the Marvel universe has gotten their powers somehow, right? Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, even the crossover with the Sony verse or whatever. Spider-Man got his, by being bit by the thing. Wanda's the only one who was really born with these powers, and that goes back to the mutant stuff, because only mutants are born that way. So I still think that this is how they're going to bring in, the Fox mutants or the X-Men and stuff like that.
And Stuart Greenberg. Sorry, Stuart Greenberg agrees with you, because he's saying baby witch equals mutant.
Right? Because I'm still thinking Patrick Stewart's going to show up next episode.
That would be crazy.
Right?
That would be really crazy.
Getting back to Stewart, he's also going, at this point, he's trying to wonder, how can they resolve everything in just one episode? Because we only have one left.
I don't think they have to. I mean, they have to resolve the immediate story, but remember, there always could be a season 2.
Exactly.
So they don't have to.
And I think that Pietro thing is not going to be addressed. I have a feeling it's going to be like one of those end credit scenes, like Franco said. You'll see Patrick Stewart, or you'll see something else that ties into the non-MCU Marvel universe, and it'll be just like the next. Oh, what's next? And we'll just have to wait for it. I don't think they're going to tie up that plot thread. My opinion.
Oh man, that would suck. I want to know what's happening. Now, even though I said all this, I still agree with Stewart. I want to know what happens.
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, Andy Price now agrees, I guess, with the previous comment that was made over the past couple of shows. I think I now agree that the commercials are the Infinity Stones. Now, getting to the commercials, why we didn't have a commercial in this episode? Because we had the flashback with their parents, who are the people in the commercials.
Are they the people in the commercials?
Oh, yes. I didn't get that at all. I didn't
put that together. Holy cow!
Oh, I didn't.
That's why we didn't have the flashback. That's why we didn't have the commercial, because the people in the commercials are her parents.
See, I picked up the thing about the cases, all the shows that they would watch, the Dick Van Dyke and all that other stuff, and I picked up on the Stark Industry missile and the toaster, because I remember the toaster was the blinking light was the only thing that was red, and it said it was a Stark toaster. So I made that connection, but I didn't make the connection that the parents were the ones that were in the commercial. Holy babies!
I will confirm this, but I believe they were the same.
Now, has there been a commercial every episode except the 8th one?
Yes.
Because if there was 6 commercials, then I would say there's a commercial for every Infinity Stone. But if there's 7, then they've doubled up. So at least one is double up. So I don't know if there's.
Well, we still don't. No, the Yo Magic. I think that relates to Agatha, because you see her in the opening of this episode, where she drains the energy from the other witches, and they become these husks. That's what happened to that poor person on the beach that couldn't open up the yogurt cup.
Right.
Interesting.
Now, the question I need to ask all of us is, are we wasting too much of our lives on this?
No.
I've wasted 40 years on all this stuff. I'm not about to give it up now. I don't know what I would do with myself. Maybe I would have been an astronaut, physicist, brain surgeon. But instead, we have this.
No, I'm wrong. Ah, crap.
You're
I thought
wrong.
It was the parents. Yeah, no, I'm looking through the IMDb. Trying to. Damn, I thought it was.
You got me going there for a second.
Oh, it felt so good. It's another Karate Kid 3.
Oh, no.
What do you mean? What's the Karate Kid 3?
Don't ask.
Yeah, don't ask.
I love the Karate Kid. Big Karate
Don't
Kid.
ask.
All right, I won't ask.
Don't ask.
If there was a giant hook, Wayne, we'd be pulling you off stage right now.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I think like a lot of this is going to tie into. I think this is going to bring us into the next show. Like, I think there's got to be some connection. Like every Marvel movie kind of led to the next Marvel movie, even if it was just an end credit scene that kind of was like, and this is what you have to look forward to, type of thing. I think WandaVision will either lead into the Falcon and Winter Soldier thing, or it's going to lead into, what's the next one? I think it's supposed
Loki.
no, I'm talking about movie wise. Like, what's Black Widow? But that to me that doesn't count because technically that's supposed to be before all this. It just hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, but it could lead into something that has an effect in the future.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think it maybe it'll lead into the Doctor Strange, the multiverse, Doctor Strange, because we keep hearing all these rumors about the next Spider-Man movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how there's Tobey Maguire is going to be it, and Andrew Garfield, and et cetera, et cetera. And somebody said to me this the other day, I forgot who it was, and I don't know if they read it on the internet or not, but it seemed like an interesting theory, is that a bunch of the cast got online recently and were making up names for what the third movie was going to be. All like, all with the word home in it, right? And then they all came up with their different theories, and then they announced the actual name, which I don't think I remember. Does anyone remember? What's Spider-Man 3 going to be called?
What was the last one? No Way Home?
No, they from what I understand, they announced the third one. Wayne, fact check.
Yeah.
So somebody was saying that the idea that the cast was throwing out all these alternatives was because it's also Spider-Man is going to be around the multiverse storyline.
The multiverse of madness as well.
Right. So between Doctor Strange and what's happening in WandaVision, and there seems to be a lot of that, that stuff going on. So maybe WandaVision somehow starts tying it together or going at least to the next step of it, as it were. Stuart, I like that idea. In Stuart's comments, he goes, episode 9 post-credit scene, Professor X and Cerebro addressing the X-Men saying, "I've found Quicksilver." That's a good one. I like that.
Okay, let's get back to D. Brad wants to rewatch the show after it ends, before the final episode. Andy Price goes, well, did they always have Vision's body? How did they get it? Pietro, he also goes on, Pietro can't be done. I do not accept her hand waving it away as just being something she made. If it's not a tie or a beginning of ties to the Fox universe, then it's not worth doing that with the actor.
Right.
Again, Andy's going on, they don't have to resolve everything. That can be all, they can lead this all into the Doctor Strange film. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Andy says the No Way Home is the title for them.
No Way Home.
Yeah. No Way Home, yeah. What was the other one? Far From Home, right?
Homecoming.
Right. Which is just the level of cheese that I like. I like just that every title has the word home in it. I like that. So yeah, I think that this all leads to a grander plan. This is the first step in the grander plan of the multiverse storyline. My theory is that how the entire all the phases current all up to date the Marvel universe all led to Infinity War and Endgame, right? It was this big crescendo of all these movies, and somewhere said how do we match this? How do we top this, right? Well, what better way can you do to do like this crazy fan service of a multiverse storyline that eventually leads into the collapse and saving of a multiverse, right? So whatever the end game Infinity War of this phase will be, is going to be like saving the multiverse in my mind. And they'll bring in characters from the MCU, obviously, and they'll bring in characters from the Fox universe, and maybe we'll see Luke Ferrigno in some green paint and like green body paint. There was a rumor floating around that Chris Evans is coming back not only to play Cap but to play Human Torch. So that would be incredible. Like if they did all that, I would that's some tremendous fan service, and I think at the same time would be a great way to lead into the next era of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, think if they had, if they didn't have this Fox deal with Spider-Man all worked out, this would be the way to do their own Spider-Man. They split it off into a different multiverse, and then they could have a Spider-Man in the MCU type thing.
Well, I don't think they don't have the rights for Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah.
Otherwise, so. And I think the whole Into the Spider-Verse really made them realize how much. I think it made them understand that the audience can understand it. Right before that, somebody might have said, "No one would understand this." It was a movie going on. Like if
people are too stupid, they never get this.
But if you're a comic nerd, like you get all this stuff, right? Like this is a language that we speak. But to a general movie-going audience, they were like, "Nobody's going to get this." But Into the Spider-Verse was huge. People got it. It wasn't that hard to understand. So I think that somebody somewhere, Marvel Entertainment was like, "Oh, now we're going to do this bigger." I'm hoping Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man. That's my vote.
I do agree with Stuart. It's about time that they finally called Wanda the Scarlet Witch.
Right. I love that
she dressed in enough red throughout all the movies and the TV show.
Yeah, well, that was all just the fan service. But I love that they didn't call her Scarlet Witch until she became the Scarlet Witch. Basically,
Right. It sounds it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's and like I would hope that she adopts that persona. So like that'll be her code name going forward.
I love it.
I gotta say, I geeked out when the Halloween episode where they were wearing the costumes.
The older ones, yeah.
The older ones, love that. And even when was it Billy or Tommy or whichever one was wearing the
Wiccan?
The
Wiccan was wearing the Wiccan costume. Like, I love that. It was so cool. I was like, oh my god! And my wife, who was watching him, was like, what are you getting so excited about?
Yeah. my wife, like when we saw the white Vision at the end, my wife was like, what? And I'm like, that's the White Vision. Like, what does that mean? I'm like, I don't know what it means here. I know what it means in comics, and that's just for us comic people type thing. Right. I mean, I'm sure it has something to do with the story, but I don't know what yet.
Right.
Love it.
Love it. It's been a great show. Been a great ride.
Are you talking like it's over? It's not over yet. Come on now.
You got one more episode. It's almost over. I'm going to predict now, and I could be proven completely wrong. As good as this is, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be better.
You think so?
Those two characters just have such this crazy, incredible chemistry together. Like it's like the ultimate buddy cop movie with powers. Like, I'm really excited for that.
It's like another 48 hours.
Not another 48 hours, just 48 hours.
Just another 48.
We don't try to remember, we try to forget another 48 hours. In fact, until you mentioned it, I had forgotten. It always I don't know when the last time you guys watched that movie, but there's a bit part by what's his name? James Remar from who's now in Black Lightning and who's in Sex and the City and from the Warriors.
Oh, he's the guy in the room with that girl, right?
He's the guy out in the car. Oh yeah, he's the guy in the room. And he runs out. He's Luther. He's like, oh Luther, you got hit in the car door. Oh, that hurt. Like, oh my god, so good. Love that movie. Classic.
Right, I need help on the colors here. What color should his face be? Should his face be green, or is that too much? It's too much.
I don't think green doesn't feel right to me.
No, that'd be too much kryptonite.
Too much, right?
Yeah.
Yellow? Should we go yellow?
Yellow it'll help accent the S.
No, that's gonna be the Fleischman one, so that's gonna be red and black with the white trim on the outside.
It's white? I thought it's yellow on the outside.
No, in the Superman and Lois, which we're going to talk about in a little while, it's white on the outside.
Again, I thought it was yellow on the outside.
No, I looked at it.
Sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna look that up right now.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right, so predictions for WandaVision. What are we thinking?
They all die at the end.
Oh man, again? I hate that.
When that happens.
Patrick Delphi comes out of a shower.
Patrick Duffy with Victoria Principal?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I could see that happening.
I'm looking up. Hold on. I think it's.
I think I just ruined this piece. Thanks a lot, guys.
Well,
I don't know. It looks yellow to me. It even looks. The old Fleischner one was yellow. It looks yellow to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looks yellow to me.
well, Stuart got the Wonder Twins up at 6:45 to watch WandaVision today.
Oh, why?
Oh.
Next time, let us sleep in. Just avoid spoilers and watch it later. Is that what's happening? He's afraid of spoilers?
I believe so.
Can you share my screen for a second? I have a picture up.
I could. Let's do it.
Let's see. Do you see it?
Did you give me permission to share your screen? No, all I see is your face.
I have to give you permission?
Yeah, I can't share your screen.
Where do I do that?
I don't know. You have to log in with it.
Oh, maybe I have to share. Hold on. Share screen. Share. I'm gonna share here. Share.
There it is.
That looks yellow to me.
That's white.
Yeah, it looks white.
It looks white? You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so.
I could be wrong.
Okay,
What
now.
about, but look, wait. Wait, hold on. That's the Fleischner version. That's white. I thought that was. Since I've been a kid, I thought that was yellow.
I'm going yellow with it, just so you'll be quiet.
Does that look yellow? No.
I don't know. It's yellow now. But we were gonna do Wanda Predictions before we move on to Superman Lois. But you brought up Superman Lois, so I want to talk about that now.
Hold on, let's see the predictions. My prediction is that WandaVision vision is not the real Vision, but that is the Vision we're going to end with. And White Vision, white John Byrne Vision is the real Vision, and that is the one that eventually will die in some sort of Vision to Vision battle. That's my prediction.
Man, I don't like that outcome. Wayne, what are you thinking? Wayne doesn't care. He's frozen.
No, not care. Well, all my theories went up in smoke. So
you're wrong on everything.
So wrong. I'm wrong on everything. But I have a feeling we're still not going to see who the big bad is at the end of the episode. We'll have some type of satisfaction, but not what we want. Because I can't see them summarizing everything. It'd be like reading a Douglas Adams novel where he gives you all this meat and you're really enjoying the dinner, and then boom, you're done. Because he has to wrap everything up quickly. That's what I found with his writing. I can't see them wrapping everything up. So my prediction, Doctor Strange has to appear. Somehow the multiverse has to sort of pop in. Somehow.
Yeah. I said from the beginning that Doctor Strange has to show up, but I'm also going to go out on a limb and say that Professor X is going to show up at some point too. Patrick Stewart, Professor X. Okay. I'm going to go there.
Even not James McAvoy.
No. Professor X. Patrick Stewart. Okay.
So Stuart Greenberg, one of three people will show up. Logan, Professor X, or now he has written Magenta, so I don't know if that's the Rocky Horror Picture Show reference or it's supposed to be Magneto.
I would imagine it's supposed to be Magneto.
Yeah, I don't see Magneto showing up. I do see Professor X showing up. I don't see Wolverine showing up. The only one that makes sense to me there would be Professor X.
I think it has to be somebody very obvious. Because I'll give you a perfect example. My wife didn't get the whole thing with Pietro. Like she didn't realize it wasn't the same dude from
Right.
And I had to explain it to her. So you have to bring in somebody like a Professor X, Patrick Stewart level, so that the non-comic person will be like, oh, wait a second. This is not right.
I'm thinking more from the magic point of view. If Agatha was drawn to what was happening in Westview because of Wanda, Strange is supposed to be the Sorcerer Supreme. He should be like, it should be like pinging.
Yeah.
Right.
In New York, in Greenwich Village, all of a sudden, something should be going off. Juan should be going, hey, Steven, I think we have an issue.
That would be really cool. That would be really cool to have, and then it lead into
or
Dr.
Brother
Strange. Voodoo
shows up instead.
Yeah, but most people won't get that.
But I don't care as long as I see it. That'd be perfect for me.
and Dr. Druid shows up.
Let's get D-Man in there.
Yeah, everyone will think he's a fat Wolverine.
Wayne doesn't care. Wayne doesn't care. As long as Brother Voodoo shows up, he doesn't care about anything else.
Brother Voodoo was the Sorcerer Supreme for a little bit. When Steven stepped down.
That is true. True story. Dr. Druid was Sorcerer Supreme for a while too.
Yeah, but Druid doesn't count.
Why does Druid not count, but Voodoo does?
Because Wayne doesn't like him.
I didn't know you were so pro Voodoo anti-Druid.
One of the weakest Avengers, Dr. Druid.
I would say
D-Man. I would take D-Man over Dr. Druid.
I don't know. There's a lot of Avengers that I have.
Jack of Hearts over Dr. Druid.
Gilgamesh. He was an Avenger. I was like, what? All the 5 o'clock shadow looks good.
Yeah, it's starting to look like Tyler Hoechlin.
It is.
See, that coloring looks great.
Yeah, it looks good.
I went with the yellow against my better wishes.
Oh,
anyway.
Stuart comes back. He thinks WandaVision's vision will possess the body of the White Vision so that he can travel outside the hex.
Ooh, like a vision meld.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
I will always be your friend.
Well, thanks, Wayne. I appreciate that. But why do you feel you need to state that to everybody?
Oh, I don't know. The melding.
The melding, it's a Star Trek reference.
I think the line is, I have been and always will be.
Yeah.
That was the line, yes. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one.
I love it. I love this stuff. I love talking geek stuff. This is the stuff I miss at conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
This is my sole reason for doing this show. Because this is what I'd be doing at a show. I'd be talking and drawing at the same time.
For those who don't know, 1 year ago today, I was in Chicago getting ready for C2E2, which was only a couple of days away.
Yeah. I remember. I was there.
The last show the world attended, pretty much.
I was there at that show.
But didn't it take place in February?
Yeah, it took place February 28th, February 29th, and March 1st. But
so I would have started on the 27th.
So yeah, you were there a year ago.
I was already there, yeah.
But I was already there for a couple of days at this point, because we get there for a show that starts on a Friday. We get there on a Tuesday. So yeah, so it's heartbreaking to think about. A year ago was the last show.
That's
the best show of the year.
I like C2E2 a lot. It's a lot of comic fans.
It's my favorite
show. All right, since you brought up Superman before, and I'm drawing Superman now.
I've never heard of him.
What did you think of Superman Lois?
Me first?
Yeah, you're the guest. Go for it.
I loved it. I really, truly loved it. And I'm not gonna lie, I love Franco. We've talked about this. I love Tyler Hoechlin as Superman his Supergirl stuff. But I didn't know, I was worried about if it was going to be hokey and go off in the hokiness of the CW has been going off in for quite a while now. Like CW in my mind has been declining over the years. Some of it's still good, but it used to be great. And I was really worried that Superman was going to start off like off the bat just being very, very CW-esque, and it was as far from a CW show in my mind as you can get. It was so cinematic, and it was so character driven, and it had so much heart to it. Like, I loved it. I really
tell me those first 5 minutes didn't encapsulate a Superman that we haven't seen on screen for years.
It's the best Superman movie we've seen since the Christopher Reeve movies.
Right?
Yeah. Those 5 minutes. Yeah.
I mean, all together too. I think it was just so well done in terms of story, and I love the family element. The thing with the two sons, I thought was just different but fun. And look, this is what I'm drawing now. Like right here, when I'm done with this, it's going to say, "Cool costume, thanks. My mom made it for me." That's what it's going to say on here. I love that line. I legit almost teared up when he said those lines. I was like, "Ah, come on, you're killing me here. You had me at my mom made this for me."
And they went back to a better costume design as opposed to like the
that goes to the S, the cape that goes over the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% teared up at that moment, and just the whole throwback to Action 1 with the green car. I think it was a PT Cruiser that kind of looks like an old school Chevy or whatever it's supposed to be, and just the glee in his voice when he. First of all, when he said, he called the kid friend, that like to me that's Superman, like right there, like, and pick up the kid's hat and like just didn't take off, and then the glee in his voice when he said, "My mom made it for me," like he was just so excited. It was pitch perfect.
I loved it. I just like and then it got into the story too, and I loved. I know they had to do setup, because there's other shows coming, but I love the setup. I love that they had to go from Metropolis and they're going to go back to Smallville. I love that. I love that the kids are going to be like kind of fish out of water, and I just can't wait to see what they do with these kids. And I love that one of the kids has powers, one doesn't. Again, spoilers. I love all of that stuff.
The one thing, not that I was disappointed. Disappointed would be too strong a word. One of the things I like so much about this of Superman is we get to see something we've never seen in Superman really before in TV film. We've seen in the comics in recent years with him, with him being a father, right? But we haven't seen TV film. So that audience is getting to see a different side of Superman in Clark Kent than they ever seen before. It humanizes him more than ever, and allows for people who have kids and or nieces or nephews or whatever the case may be, like they see the frailty in being a parent, the constant insecurity and worry, and is Superman's greatest weakness is kryptonite? No, it's the love of his family. Like you see him so human, and I love that. So the little bit of disappointment I had was the fact that they took Ma Kent so quick. I would have liked to see him as a son to an elderly parent that he kind of has to take care of, to again give him more of a human factor. I would have liked to see her for a few more episodes, and then maybe this play out where she passed away. But I know they had to get to that point quickly. So if I had any point that tweaked me just a little bit, it was that. I would have liked to see a little bit more of that. But otherwise, the way they they gave you something you've never seen before in Clark Kent. Like, amazing, amazing. And Lois.
Yeah, when I saw her in the crossover stuff, in Supergirl and stuff like that, I wasn't too crazy about her as Lois. I got to be honest, because I was going mostly on just physicality, because she looked, I don't know, kind of slightly older than Lois compared to him as Clark. But it kind of, it makes sense to me now. In terms of, like he's younger looking, he's always going to be younger looking type thing, and she's older, but I like her sass,
Yeah, it's typical Lois Lane. I like that she's not. I don't know how to put this the best way. She's not. I don't want to say she's not pretty. She's a very pretty woman, but she's not that dolled up,
right?
Like, centerfold look of pretty, right?
Right.
She's not bimbo-esque looking. You can see her. She's a tough woman. She's she's
a seasoned reporter.
She's a seasoned reporter. Like, you feel all that in her look and the way she displays herself. She's definitely beautiful, but it's not like, some depictions of Lois Lane. It's like, this is too soft a person to play Lois Lane. Like, it just doesn't seem right.
D. Brad said Dean Cain also said the line that his mom made a suit for him too.
He did.
In the Adventures.
I do remember that.
And he also loved the homage to Action Comics #1 when he was lifting the tractor.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Andrew Clark.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go for
Andrew
it.
Clark. Andrew Clark said, "Great first episode. How did the spaceship crystal play into it? Did one of the boys get powers from it? What about the other kid?"
There was no crystal. They just
it came out. Yeah, remember?
Red crystal.
No, not they came, meaning like you didn't from find the with when I think crystal, I think in that long.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't the long.
No. Like,
not the one that made the fortress.
Correct. He touched it, and then that little thing popped out, as it were. It looked
like a fob.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think he got his powers from that. He already had his powers.
Yeah, I think he had his powers prior to that.
Had the powers that allowed him to access the crystal and access the ship, right? If the other kid touched it, it probably wouldn't happen that way. Unless he winds up having powers too, which I bet you down the road he will. We'll find out they both have them, I would imagine. They'll play that card for a certain amount of time, and then they'll flip it to like, now they both have powers, and now there's a new set of drama to deal with because now they both have powers.
Well, the drama I'm going to be interested in seeing is whether or not the Jock brother, what's he going to do when they decide to, we're living in Smallville now with his girlfriend in Metropolis.
Right. And he's not part of the football team. He's like all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he sounds so great now, but start taking that stuff away.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? There was something that I kind of, not that I didn't like, again, it was very minor, but like, I didn't like that Lana didn't know that he was Superman. Like the mythos is Lana always knew first, right? And so I always liked that as part of that character. And I didn't like that her husband was such a D-bag. Like, like he was a real, like, Lana Lang, Smallville sweetheart, winds up marrying this douche. Like, come on, that would have never happened.
Well, that guy's really harsh because apparently he sees a lot of meth labs blow up.
Right. But I love the whole idea of that, like he's can take over the farm, and there's he's going to go back to actually being a farmer. Like, he talked about the crops. There was a callback earlier in the episode where one of the other farmers said, nobody raised more crops than when Clark was on the farm, and I like that. That was kind of leading into what's going to happen. It was just great. It was just, it's one of the best pieces of television, superhero television I've seen in a very long
It
time.
felt like a real Superman story for the first time in a while.
Right?
100%. It felt like Superman. That's nothing that, you know, any of the cinematic stuff has been able to do. None of that feels Superman to me. And I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I do. I think that because he's had moments where they let it shine through, but for the most part, it's not what Superman should be. Superman should be hope and inspiration and humanized. People, you know, Superman's my favorite. Most people know, anyone who knows me knows Superman is my favorite superhero. And and I always say, why people are like, why do you love Superman so much? I'm like, I connect with him. And like, well, how do you connect with him? He's a god. I was like, no, that's the thing. He has godlike powers, but he's human, and he's a humanized person. You connect with him because you want that family, you want those, you have those relationships, you have that want to be better, to always to help where you can, you know. He's inspirational, he's always trying to lead. He's not trying to force anybody to follow him. He could take over the world if he wants, but he chooses to just lead by example. And that's another reason that he's humanized as a character. And no one, you know, in a very long time, they haven't been able to capture that. And they did in this show, at least episode 1. They definitely
Yeah, I really think they did.
Yeah.
D. Brad would like to know, hey, what's going on with Captain Luthor?
Yeah.
I think he's a multiverse Luthor. That's what it's going to wind up being.
Speaking of the multiverse, nice lead-in. Andrew Clark has a really good comment that I don't think you can see this one because it's on YouTube.
I don't.
After the crossover event, there's only one Earth now. Who is the new Luthor, and what happened about John Cryer?
But if you watch Supergirl, John Cryer is still there after the crisis.
Yes.
And he's actually a revered hero of Metropolis. They don't realize that he's evil. Like, Supergirl knows he's evil because she still remembers.
Yeah, but they're only the one Earth. Because if you look at it, because it doesn't make sense, because Lois and Clark went to Kandor. She got pregnant there.
Right.
They came back. So how much further in the future is this story taking place with the 2 teenage kids?
Right, because technically, if you go back to the crisis, he only had 1 kid. It was an infant. Like, does this take place that many years after the crisis, or is just something shaken up as a result of all that? Is he not even the Superman from before? Like,
no, because it's a different costume. I'm thinking different Superman.
Maybe.
Now the kids aren't twins, right?
Yes, they are twins.
Yep.
So if he had 1 kid in Supergirl, how did he get another kid?
Well, they're saying that after the crisis, you know.
Oh, because they did that whole mishmash thing.
Right, because even like John Diggle, the character from Arrow, he once had a son, and then something time-wise,
he had a girl.
He had a girl, and then after the crisis, now he has a boy and a girl. So like the crisis shakes things up. So,
and he found a certain green object that landed close to him.
Right. Yeah, he's going to be Green Lantern. That's the hope, right?
Are they going to be doing a Green Lantern show?
I don't think they're going to be doing a Green Lantern show, but I think the guy who plays John Diggle is supposed to come on to some of the other CW shows as Green Lantern eventually.
Because I know John Wesley Shipp, he was in Atlanta this weekend filming Stargirl, or this week. He's
going to play Jay Garrigan in Stargirl, which was also a great show. Not as good as Superman, but really good too.
Now, I have a question about that. I don't know if anybody out there knows this, or I don't know if fact checker Wayne is going to look into it, but Stargirl was on DC Universe and had like, 10, 13 episodes altogether, right?
13, I think it was, yeah.
Now it's going to be on the CW. Is it still going to be on HBO Max? And are they going to do... Because that show would be ruined if they went to 22 episodes like all the other CW stuff instead of instead of the 13 that they were doing. Because I think this Superman and Lois, they're going to be doing 22 episodes, but I think they should be doing 13. That's me, though.
Sponsors won't and commercials won't do it if it's not a full season.
No.
I think you have to be over like 16 episodes or something like that. At least non-COVID era. Like a lot of stuff got truncated as a result of that. But
yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't even think of that. That might be hard to pull. That show, it was just right. 22 is going to be a lot of filler.
Right. Yeah, because then they start getting into all the, not that I mind the other characters, but they get way too back into the weeds with some of these guys.
Right.
Even
though I'd love to see more JSA stuff. I love the JSA stuff. So good. It's looking good, Franco.
Oh, thank you. It's looking like him. Sort of. Looking like him. Yeah. I went a little funky with the design, but
no, it looks good. We're getting on to Stargirl. We're getting off of Superman.
No. That's all right. We could go anywhere we want. But what else?
We're getting 13 episodes for season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I think that's just right.
That is just right. I agree.
But I wonder if it's going to premiere on HBO Max first, or if it's going to be on CW first.
CW.
Is it going to be on HBO Max at all, or not even? I think maybe eventually.
Probably eventually.
See, I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was going to HBO Max and then CW.
I think the deal was DC Universe, but they're gone now.
Yeah, that's all.
And they only took some of the shows over.
Well, everything that was on DC Universe, from what I understand, will eventually find its way to HBO Max. They just didn't want to bring it over at one time because they want to, bring people back and keep people rather. Like, you love Batman the Animated Series and you love Superman the Animated Series. Well, once you get through Batman, we don't want you to watch Superman and then leave. So 6 months from now, we're gonna give you Superman Animated Series, because that's the cool thing is that at least they're giving you a little bit more, like the Superman Animated Series. When they add it finally back into HBO Max, it's going to be remastered. So
remastered, oh man,
yeah, remastered. Andy Price, you're right. I heard that same rumor today. There's a rumor about they said there's going to be a new Superman movie, and the rumor is Michael B. Jordan will be Superman.
Oh, they're going to do that Black Superman storyline, like the alternate version one.
I don't know if the rumor is just Michael B. Jordan will be Superman. I don't know if it's an alternate version or.
I heard I read something about Ta-Nehisi Coates writing the new
Superman.
Yeah,
that's the one.
That's the one with J.J. Abrams producing.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Why? I love Ta-Nehisi Coates. I love Michael B. Jordan. Why J.J. Abrams? Why
you don't like J.J. Abrams? You don't like J.J. Abrams?
I do, but I don't know. I don't know what he'll do.
See, I always feel like J.J. Abrams brings the heart to whatever he does.
And lens flare.
And
yeah.
lens flare.
Well, there'll be a lot of lens flare.
He stopped doing that. He stopped doing that. He got ribbed enough that he stopped doing it.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, but listen, of course it would be the fanboy in me is like Michael B. Jordan as Superman is like, how could that be? Superman is a white alien, right? But I love Michael B. Jordan so much. I think he's such a great actor. I loved him in Creed, especially. Like, if anybody can pull it off, I think it's him. Like,
but how could he do that if he was already in the Marvel universe? Come on.
See, Andy agrees with us because he says J.J. Abrams he's a great ideas man, but he needs to be hands off to get the best out of it. Perfect example, Fringe.
Fringe was so good.
I've never seen Fringe.
Oh, Franco, so good.
I should, right?
Yeah, if you, I know you binge stuff all the time. If you get an opportunity, definitely watch.
Yeah, you'll love the comic book covers in the alternate universe. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, so good.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
John Noble is so good in that.
I know the lady that started that was on Mindhunters on Netflix, and they canceled that. And I love that show when they were looking for those serial killers.
Oh, I never saw it.
Yeah, they canceled that. Very upsetting.
Oh, Andy seems to be upset with you, Franco.
What did I do now?
I don't know. All it says is, Franco, what the hell?
I think it's that you haven't seen Fringe.
Oh, it's possible. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, from YouTube, we have Oto Nashi 66. Loves the 22 episode arc because it allows you to expand your character development. And he didn't or she didn't like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek or Star Wars.
I think
Again,
that's
I like the first Star Trek.
First Star Trek I liked because they could have taken the franchise to a whole different universe, new stories, don't have to rehash anything. And then they dropped the ball with the second one.
They rehash things, yeah.
Exactly. And I'm a huge Star Trek guy. I am in the very, very small minority. I liked After Dark. I didn't love it. I liked it. I thought because again, I like alternate versions of stuff. So Wayne, it's almost like the Fringe comic book covers. Like alternate version of it in my mind.
What you were able to do in the first movie was everything that happened all the way up to Next Generation, that all occurred. Now we split the timeline to the Kelvin universe. You can take this and run off it and do new stories, new frontiers.
Why did they
not a new Khan?
Right. Well, because Khan is such a precious story, right? Like it's the greatest Star Trek story ever told. So no one wants to touch it. Listen, I get that.
Unless you're J.J. Abrams.
Well, that's the whole thing. They did it right the first time with Khan.
Right. You didn't have to touch it. I get it. But I thought Zachary Quinto was really great in that. The whole end scene with him and Cumberbatch running through Starfleet Academy, and just like that was a fun scene. That was a great scene. There was a lot of impact there. Like, I don't know. Listen, to me, I look at it as an alternate reality version. If that movie wasn't Star Trek, if it was a bunch of different characters,
Jim, I can bring Tribbles back to life. Jim,
everyone would have been like, "That's a great movie."
I don't think everybody would have been like that.
I think so.
No.
I like J.J. Abrams. That's just me. I loved Alias. I love Force Awakens. I don't count Rise of Skywalker because I do like Rise of Skywalker, but that was J.J. just having to clean up a really bad mess, so it was as good as it was going to get. Again, I think J.J. adds the heart to a lot of stuff.
No. I hated Lost. No.
I love Lost.
How could you love Lost? See, this is my issue with people, because I started watching Lost and I loved it. I thought the concept was great. These people crash on this island. Love it. It was obvious into second to third season that they had no idea what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And then years later, reading an article where they admit they didn't know what they were doing.
Seat of their pants, yeah.
And I'm like, why? Why would you do that to us?
Isn't that like comics? You don't necessarily know where you're going.
No, because I'll tell you why. Because in comics, you have different story arcs, okay? Right. And you have different creators coming in to work on those. And they might pick up on something from previously or build on something that's new. But as a television show, not all television shows, but that television show, because then you have shows like Episodic Weekly, right? That was not an Episodic Weekly show. That was one story about these people on the island. And they didn't know what they were doing. And they didn't know how to end it. They didn't know where to go with it. So, no.
I'm not gonna lie and say the end was great. The end was not good, but the journey, I enjoyed the journey of that show.
No, hated it. Never watching it again. Needs to be wiped from existence.
I think they knew where they started and where they wanted to go. They just couldn't figure out.
No, they didn't know where they wanted to go. They knew where they started.
They were surprised they had a hit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think
They just wanted a vacation in Hawaii.
they all loved being. Not everyone loved. There was a couple of characters that got written out because the actor hated living in Hawaii. The recently departed Mira Furlan, for example, she hated Hawaii. They had a bigger arc for her character, which I forgot the name, but I know she hated Hawaii so much that she has to be written off.
Okay, D. Brad was wondering, does Superman still shave with his X-ray vision?
Okay,
vision.
so
Heat vision. No, hey, actually, no. I'm actually reading. Does Superman still shave with his X-ray vision?
I'm going to say no, he doesn't. And also, no, because have you seen Tyler Hoechling's face? The guy is a man. He's a man's man. And he grows that beard. He grows that stubble, and he looks awesome, so he doesn't shave.
Okay, D. Brad says each season of Lost was planned out. So I guess what they did was they took a whole bunch of papers on a staircase, and they just sort of threw down, hey, here's an idea. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, we'll start from the top and work our way down.
You can't make me believe that each season of that show was planned out, because they did not know what the hell they were doing.
Andy Price goes, that's my opinion of Game of Thrones. The ending ruined it for me. Did Game of Thrones have an ending?
Sort of.
I never watched it, but I heard it had a terrible ending.
I didn't like it.
So did Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, I like Battlestar Galactica's ending.
Not how it ended.
I didn't mind it. That was a great show.
I love that show.
That's one of the best sci-fi shows of all time.
So to make up for Mike's lack of drawing.
Oh,
Franco,
no. Wayne just threw down. Now I got to draw something.
So that it's a little something.
A little something.
I got most of Tyler Hoechlin. Here, maybe you could get a better shot of it this way. Let's see.
Yeah, that works.
It looks good.
Ooh, I like the coloring on that.
Yeah, it came out great. It's coming out.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you. I even went with yellow, Mike, around the trim.
Oh, you should, because it is yellow.
Oh, and D. Brad did mean heat vision. But I did read it right, because I know when you're correcting me, going, no, I thought I read it right. I'm going, yeah, I could get my facts wrong because I make stuff up as I go, because, hey, that's fun.
Well, he can see his beard if he wants, I guess, but otherwise, X-ray vision is not going to help him shave.
Sean came in. Sorry, I'm late to the conversation tonight. Just finishing WandaVision. What a week of TV. Superman was amazing, and WandaVision is great. I love watching the story unfold, and the pain and tragedy. See more. Come on. Tragedy unfold of the story, which is usually subtle. It is in a few full view this week.
Yeah.
I gotta say, this week, if you take the two, if you take Superman and Lois and WandaVision, you had some really good stuff.
It was a great week for fanboy television. Definitely.
So much so, yes.
I haven't been this excited for a TV show in a long time, to see the future of a TV show with Lois and Clark. Like, I just thinking about all the possibilities and all the different character development stuff. And I really thought, looking at the trailers, like I love the trailers, but I was a little worried, like these kids are going to wind up being annoying. And and as soon as and I love them in the episode. The trailer just was like, oh no, and I really hope they're able to keep me interested in the kids. I hope they're able to keep up the production value. Like that was a really cinematic show. Like the production quality seemed really high. There's not a tremendous amount of like I guess special effects as it were, but still those sprawling, scenes of Smallville and all that stuff. They need to keep up that level to maintain. Because if they go to the, I don't know enough about cinematography, but you can see the difference in a regular CW show than that show. Like there must have been different cameras or whatever the case may be, but it looks like.
You don't think stuff like in Arrow and Flash there wasn't that production value? I think there was.
Not like that. I don't think. Like even when you used to go to think about when on Arrow when you used to go to the island, right? It looked like a set. It looked, even though I think they did film on an actual island, they kept to like the same 8 patches of land. Like you felt like you were in a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Like I'm just going over the same.
Whoa! Are you shitting on Vancouver?
Yes.
Are you shitting on Vancouver?
Yeah.
Maybe. Is that where the island stuff was filmed? I don't know.
That's where everything is filmed.
So yeah, Superman and Lois didn't feel that way. It felt like
what they could have done was for the pilot, they could have tossed in a few extra bucks to make it look pretty.
Well, that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that in the end, it's going to be that the production value is going to change as the season progresses.
But if they can keep the characterization and the stories as strong as the pilot episode, then the production won't matter at that point. You'll look past the production.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I do agree with that. I would just love to see continue, but I want to see more. I hope we get to see some more flashback stuff. Like I really enjoyed that that flashback that we saw of him with the Fleischer costume, obviously, but just even when we were going back to stuff when he was a kid and old. I hope there's a lot of Smallville flashbacks. I would like to see that a little bit more too. Like I love that stuff.
Yeah, because they talked about Pete Ross because
Right.
it was in that car accident that they should have all died.
Right. Which I'm trying to remember. Is that a throwback to Smallville, the television show? Like, didn't that happen in Smallville, the television show, where Lana, Pete, and Clark all got into an accident and he saved them all? Or am I misremembering?
There was a Twister, and I thought that was Lana in the Twister.
I remember that.
But yeah, but I don't remember with Pete, because also Chloe would have been in there too.
Well, when they used to flash, yeah, Chloe would have been. You're right. Okay, I drew something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I love it. Very on brand with what we're talking about.
Exactly. I learned how to draw that when I was like 16 years old. I was like, I am going to learn how to draw the Superman symbol. And I spent many, many hours trying to figure it out.
Awesome. Well, here he is as far along as he is. Oh, flowers. Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I think that was good. I am looking forward to both. I'm looking forward to the season finale of WandaVision, and I'm looking forward to the next episode of Superman. I don't know that I am going to be as into watching Superman on a must-see weekly basis. I think I'm going to watch Superman and Lois, all of them, eventually. But I don't know that I'm going to be dying to see each episode weekly as it comes out. Like WandaVision has me hooked in like intravenously to find out what's going on. So and I'm sure the rest of the Marvel shows, because didn't they announce that Loki was coming out in June, and Falcon and Winter Soldier are going to be in a couple of weeks, like 3 weeks or something like that.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's exciting time to be a comic book fan.
I know. Who would have ever thought we'd have this much stuff, right?
I say it all the time. If you would go back in time and tell 14-year-old Mike Negan that any of this would exist, I would have told that future Mike Negan he was a effing liar. I'm like, no, we will never have an Avengers movie. We will never have a Superman TV show. We will never have the Justice Society and Stargirl and.
But we did have something similar. We had the roast of the superheroes when I was a kid.
the Legends of the Challenge of the Legends of the superhero things, whatever that was.
Yeah. We had the Doctor Strange pilot. I remember that.
Yeah, that was
the red brown Captain America movies with the plastic helmet.
I actually like those. I do. I have this nostalgia for those.
Nicholas Hammond as Spider-Man.
I like those too. We had a Nick Fury too, didn't we? Hasselhoff in the 90s.
That's the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it was getting high tech.
That was early 90s though. Yeah.
I'm going back to the
I remember way back in like the 70s we had the Hulk, right? And the Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man, but I remember even earlier than that just excited that we had cartoons on TV, and I would watch the Electric Company just to see if Spider-Man would show up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he didn't show up every episode, and that annoyed the hell out of me. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about different things, but I wanted to see Spider-Man, so I would watch it.
It's like Batman, 66 Batman. Like we watched the reruns. I think we're all of that age where we watch the reruns. And then you got that the episodes, the opening where you saw Batgirl was in it. You're like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They weren't necessarily shown in order.
Not just so much because we wanted a girl, but so much so that there was another superhero in there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There was a possibility I saw the last season when it aired.
Oh, really?
I'm old enough for it.
Wow. Oh, Andy Price brought up the Batman Tarzan hour. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
And then they also had they folded Lone Ranger in there, didn't they? If I remember.
Yeah. I remember didn't that was the same thing where they had that might have been afterwards, Black Star and stuff like that.
Oh, and Thundar the Barbarian.
Thundar the Barbarian. I remember Black Star.
Yeah, but Black Star, yeah.
Brave Star or something like that. Black Star or Brave Star?
No, it was Black Star.
There was a Black Star and there was a Brave Star.
Brave Star, right.
Brave Star was the Western, the space Western. Black Star was the science fiction.
Right.
Like in the spaceship.
Right.
Right. And he said Zorro also, yeah.
Zorro, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good stuff. That was really good stuff. But it's always so crazy that like if you had to get up at the ass crack of dawn to start watching cartoons, because if you missed it, you missed it.
Yep.
Far Out Space Nuts. Remember that? The live action stuff?
Yeah,
the original the Ghostbusters.
The real
Ghostbusters.
The real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, the real with the gorilla in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Flash Gordon. D. Brad said Flash Gordon, that was good.
Yeah, Flash Gordon too. Yeah, I love those cartoons.
Love those cartoons.
And the Filmation Flash Gordon.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Franco.
I was going to say I have around here somewhere. I have the full box set of DVDs of Thundar somewhere. But go ahead. What were you going to say, Wayne?
The Flash Gordon, the Filmation Flash Gordon, followed faithfully the Alex Raymond strips.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon. The design, the look, everything looked very much like Alex Raymond's Flash Gordon.
Isn't there rumors George Clooney is going to be producing like a new Buck Rogers or something like that?
Oh, I didn't hear Clooney. I heard a new Buck Rogers. I didn't hear Clooney was involved.
Yeah, I don't think starring, but I think he was going to be producing or something like that.
I mean, I know how hokey it was, but I love the Gil Gerard Buck Rogers.
No, they're bad. They
are very bad. I know they're bad, but I still love them.
And Gil Gerard, I'm friends with Gil Gerard on Facebook, so he occasionally pops up on some of these feeds. So I loved him, and I loved the series when I was watching it. But man, you go back and watch it now, and some of that stuff is kind of hokey.
Oh, it's not kind of hokey; it's very hokey. Especially second season when they get on the Searcher, and there's that ridiculous robot, and it's not tweaky, but the that long neck thing. Yeah, it's bad. but there's a lot of nostalgia there.
But they did bring Buster Crabbe in for an episode.
Yep.
That was a great episode.
Okay, on January 29th, 2021, it was announced that Smokehouse Pictures will also co-executive produce Buck Rogers' TV movie. Smokehouse co-founder George Clooney is also suggested to star in the series. And the development is with Brian K. Vaughan as writing it.
Oh, see, now I'm back in. Now I'm back in.
Nice.
I love Brian K. Vaughan. I don't understand why Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, like they're not developed anymore. Like they're such great characters.
Bogged down in so much rights and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think.
that's what's happening. Andy Price chimed in. Clooney is producing, not starring, but is already in a rights fight.
I thought both of those were already in or close to public domain. Like, isn't some of the Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff already in public domain?
The early books are, not the later books. The same thing with the Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
The earlier ones are in public domain. The later ones, not as much. It's the timing. Other shows from the past, we have Linda Carter for Wonder Woman, The Lone Ranger and the Green Hornet. And getting back getting back into some Smallville pop. Lex hit Clark in season 1, and
true.
His car crashed off the bridge, and Clark left a handprint on it.
Yeah, that's the very first episode.
At the pilot episode, yeah. Oh, and Bob Burns as Tracy the Gorilla on Ghostbusters. Andy Price chimed in, which is good. What was it? Everything's no, we're good. I was thinking, have you watched Resident Alien, Mike?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm liking Resident Alien. I haven't watched the last couple episodes just because I've been so busy, but I got to get back into that. And
that's the Alan Tudyk show, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's good. It's funny, different from the comic, as we found out.
A lot different from the comic,
but still funny. But what else we got on comments? Because I stopped drawing a while ago, so now I think I'm winding down.
You're winding down, yeah. I brought this up with Franco at the beginning before we were on air. I did a post on Facebook joking around saying I'm preparing for this episode, watching the new Lois and Clark episode, and I put the one from back in the 90s with Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain. And my niece-in-law chimed in and said, "Oh, she loved that show." And I thought, oh, I think she got it all wrong, so I had to correct her. No, she was actually referring to the one, to the original one that I was watching. And if you watch it, it still holds up.
It's
in today's, the pilot definitely holds. The special effects won't hold up. Kids today will go, that's crap. But the story, the characterization, it felt like Superman. Yes. It felt like Clark Kent. It didn't feel.
Yeah. I had a problem with that show only because if we're going to be expounding on it like Mike Negin said with the Arrow stuff, they seemed like they always filmed everything in the two in the two scenes. The same 4 scenes in the same building type thing. That's what that seemed like to me. The Daily Planet never seemed like a newsroom to me in that show. It always seemed like it was like like a hipster office or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I think they were trying for that. That's what they were going for. They felt that it was a modern take on it. But I get you. But the characters, Dean Cain felt like Superman. Lois Lane, Terry Hatcher felt like Lois Lane.
Well, you remember the Superboy series too?
Rod Christopher, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
He wasn't he was the second Superboy. There was the first season Superboy. I forgot his name. Gerard Christopher took over later, I think, or vice versa. One or the other.
He started later.
There was 3 seasons. He was in 2 of them. I don't know if he's in the first 2 or the last 2. That was a great show too. I also had a really good feel, but character-wise. But you know, it was a. It wasn't meant to be more than a kid show, really. So
Right.
the scenes and the special effects were awful, and the villains were bad.
Shazam.
Oh,
yeah. The
love
Shazam ISIS Hour.
Yes.
and ISIS. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was her name? Cameron something. She was great. Who played ISIS?
Okay, John Newton was Clark Kent in the first season. And it was Gerard Christopher for the other 2 seasons. Yeah. Actually, it ran, I think, 4.
It ran 4 seasons, that show? Wow.
Yeah, because it shows him from 89 to 92. And 88 to 89 was
yeah, I didn't.
could have been a half season.
I don't remember. I just remember.
Yeah, 4 seasons.
Wow.
Well,
I gotta
Joanne Cameron.
Joanne Cameron, that was it.
And I didn't even put it up yet for ISIS. I'm just going, I know that one. I have the DVDs upstairs.
Such a good show.
Hmm.
So Shazam did the same thing. It mixed it up. It was Jackson Bostwick and then somebody else played him first. Played Captain Marvel, Shazam, sorry, first. And that was Shazam. But I don't remember who it was. With Mentor. Which some teenager in a Winnebago with this old dude. You think about it now, it's like, hey, wait a second.
Nowadays it just wouldn't fly very well. But in the 70s, hey, anything goes, you know?
And they were very big on Winnebagos in the 70s. Remember Escape from Witch Mountain?
Mm-hmm.
Another Winnebago.
Yeah, big thing in the 70s, Winnebagos and quicksand. I thought quicksand was going to be a bigger problem when I got older.
Damnation Alley.
Every show was like, so wow, I hate to get out of the world. This is gonna be so
I really, growing up, I really thought like, wow, I got to avoid quicksand, and I've never seen quicksand ever. And I've traveled around the world in different places, and I got to say, I've never encountered quicksand. Nope.
Wow.
Okay, we got 2 Captain Marvels. John Daly was the second Captain Marvel, and Jackson Boswick was the first Captain Marvel.
There you go.
There you go.
I remember Jackson Bostwick, especially because he was on the oversized DC edition. You remember those big treasuries? Yep. Mm-hmm. He was on the cover of that, and I had that as a kid, and I was like, no. So I love those treasury editions. I don't. I've kept so much from my childhood, but for whatever reason, those disappeared into the ether. I don't know what happened to most of them. I've acquired a bunch of them as an adult, but the ones I had as a kid, I just remember. I think I read most of them to death, so that they fell apart. And they also, a lot of them had the covers where if you rip the cover apart and you cut it, you can make a little diorama. So I think I cut them all up. I remember there was a Challenge of the Super Friends one or a Villains one, and I could see Savannah and Lex Luthor and Bizarro, and then a verse like the Justice League, and it was in like this little. You cut it out, and the other side of the cover made like the interior. So yeah, I think I cut a lot of that up and put it up on my wall.
Scoot makes an interesting observation that Dean Cain supports Lex Luthor in real life.
True.
True story.
And Sean agrees. Sean also says Future State Superman versus Imperious Lex, however, was excellent.
Oh, haven't read it yet.
I haven't read any of that stuff yet.
Mario missed what we said, everything on YouTube. He asked, what did I miss?
Everything.
Nothing.
Everything. And then Otanasi66, Buck Rogers' second season had the blue skin Guardian running around.
Yeah.
And I don't remember that.
I don't remember
that. I have Buck Rogers downstairs.
Buck Rogers and Hawk with the
I love
the bird head. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm like, what are they doing? What is this?
Oh, I like Hawk. He was a badass. Hawk,
was he though? I mean, he was then, but now you look at it, you're like, what is happening here?
I guess
they took a skull cap and they glued feathers on it. I don't understand what they're doing here.
He had that leather outfit with the feathers right here, like real 80s biker.
His physique was that of like a pretty scrawny guy too, Hawk. You know, he had like an indented chest and everything. Maybe it was the real. Maybe he was trying to portray a real Birdman. I don't know.
Andy Price loved the special edition with the blueprints for the Wayne Foundation, and I still have mine.
Yes,
but I didn't cut any of mine up.
Oh, there you go.
Foundation. Andy Price, one of my favorite toys of all time is the Mego Wayne Foundation. Probably my favorite toy. Besides my Star Wars toys, my favorite toy of all time, Mego Wayne Foundation, which I happen to have.
I got very confused. Yeah, I got very confused with Hawk from Buck Rogers and then Hawk from Spencer for Hire. I thought they were the same. I thought they were the same thing.
As a kid, I was like, how can there be two characters named Hawk?
Yeah. And like, and when the Spencer for Hire Hawk showed up without a bird head, I got very confused. And then he was like Captain Sisko, but he looked different. And then when he shaved his head after the second season or third season, I'm like, yeah, Hawk is back. But he was still Sisko. Yeah,
Hawk has got the space station now. I loved Vegas. When I was a kid, I wanted to have. I'm totally going on.
All Robert
Spencer to hire Robert Urich Vegas. I love the idea of being able to drive into that like warehouse and have my car in my living room. I as a kid, I wanted that.
And there was always Audrey Landers, who was half dressed in that half shell chair that was spinning in the middle of the room. Yeah.
Yes.
And then that confused me because then she was on BJ and the Bear. And she was dressed, but her sister was on there, but not a twin. I was very confused as a child.
I never understood. I never thought it was fair that a bionic man was a stuntman. I never thought that was fair because he could do the stunts and not get hurt.
How about the Incredible Hulk?
Lee Majors,
a magician.
Right. No, I got it. I was I was
wasn't fair. I love the Fall Guy too, by the way. I love the theme song to the Fall Guy.
He sang the theme song.
He did, and I actually listen to it every once in a while. I listen to that. I love it. I won't do this to you, but I can sing it. I know all the words.
Yeah, I don't think any of us want to go.
Have you guys seen Ash versus the Evil Dead?
No, I never saw it.
Lee Majors plays Bruce Campbell's father.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Loved Lee Majors as a kid. He was one of those heroes.
He was a manly man, yeah. And he was married to Farrah Fawcett.
Oh. Yes. And who didn't have that poster on their wall?
I still have that poster. I still have it.
The one that was on your wall?
Yep.
Still to this day?
I still have it. It's in my storage room. I still have it.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I held on to that poster because it's the only reason I made it to manhood was that poster. It was the only reason.
And also the Heather Locklear poster. No, not Heather Locklear. Heather Thomas poster.
Oh my gosh.
The Heather Thomas poster.
The Heather Thomas poster was I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah,
I had a lot of confused feelings.
I was not confused.
But the Farrah Fawcett one, and then it always confused me how this beautiful woman was only on one season of Charlie's Angels, and she was on a couple of episodes here and there of $6 Million Man. Whenever she showed up, I was like, it's her. But then she was only on one season of Charlie's Angels.
Was it really only one season?
I think she was only on for one season. She came back for a couple of other episodes, but I think she was only on for one season.
I thought it was like a Suzanne Summers thing. She was on the first couple of seasons, then asked for too much money, and then skate. We'll get some other blonde.
Nope. No, that was exactly it. But money-wise, but I think
Wayne
was only up for one season.
How many seasons was Farrah Fawcett on Charlie's Angels?
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
See?
I personally was a Cheryl Ladd person when it came to Charlie's Angels. I was a big fan.
No, not at all. I was pissed at Cheryl Ladd because she took over for Farrah. Wasn't she Farrah's younger sister on the show?
Yes, she was. Chris Monroe.
Yeah, see, she was the younger sister.
Yeah. Because she had blonde hair, so obviously they looked alike.
Because because I remember Farrah Fawcett was on a couple of episodes with Cheryl Ladd. She was on 1 or 2 episodes with Cheryl Ladd. But I was very, very, very upset. Yeah, that they brought the sister in. And then Tanya Roberts, I think at the end was only on for 1 season, maybe 2.
Yes,
at the very end.
Just 1.
Yeah.
Cheryl Ladd had the longest run out of the replacements, I think.
No,
Yes.
Jacqueline Smith was the entire.
No, I said out of the replacements.
Oh yes. Jacqueline Smith was
Yeah, she was there the whole time.
She's the ranking champion. She's the survivor.
Now here's something that I think we need to discuss too, because Jacqueline Smith, if we're talking about Mephisto and Dormammu and stuff like that, I think there's someone who made a deal with the devil, because I saw her not too long ago and she looks fantastic. She looks exactly the same that she did like way back then in the 70s. So
beautiful.
Her and Paul Rudd, I think, are made a deal with Mephisto. I'm pretty sure.
Have you seen Jane Seymour? Same thing.
I have not seen her recently, but
She's
yes, I would.
And I would of course throw Linda Carter in there too.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that one.
She still looks pretty good.
Any last comments? We got any last comments there, Wayne?
Yeah. Sean says Franco watched The $6 Million Man like he watched Electric Company, only instead of waiting for Spidey, he was waiting for Farrah.
Those are the 2 things I would wait for: Spidey and Farrah.
And Andy Price says Jacqueline Smith was the best Angel.
No, you're wrong, but thank you for playing.
I think that's the name of Franco's memoirs, Waiting for Farrah.
Yeah.
Or Waiting for Spidey.
And on that note, I'm going to go look at some Farrah Fawcett, $6 Million Man, Charlie's Angels episodes. And join us next week when we have another guest. I forget who it is.
Brother Bear.
Oh, yeah. Mark Hammond will be here to talk about the end of WandaVision. And if you want to know anything about comics, Brother Bear knows it. He knows everything about comics. So between Mark Hammond and Wayne, I will probably stay quiet as a church master in next week's episode because I won't know what I'm talking about, and they will. So, but thank you, Mike Negin, for showing up.
Thanks for having me, Franco. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for the conversation.
It was fun catching up.
See you next week.